morning all. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. All of you turn on your video and sit. Pratyush, Hadi. Arjun. Rifa, Surya. All of you please turn on your video. All of you. Meghna.
Ma'am, I told you that day I'm having some problem.
Who is this?
Rifa.
Okay. Rifa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. "26 students. Shall we start the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Except Rifa, she have told me she have some problem with her webcam or something. All others, please turn on your video and sit. Okay, children. So last class, what all things we have discussed? We discussed about the causes, okay, that related to the French Revolution. Okay, do you remember all that things what we have discussed? That's okay. Okay, can you tell me? Afsana, turn on your video. Nirubama, can you tell me? Nirubama. No response. Nirubama, by the time when we are asking question, they will disappear. Okay, children, we discussed about the French Revolution. Okay, the causes that lead to the outbreak of the revolution. Okay, and we have discussed about Louis XVI. He was a despotic ruler who levied extra taxes among the third estate members. Okay, and while he was there, okay, Sana, I have seen seen your message, and yes, the cost of maintaining an extravagant court, okay, and also long years of war drained the treasury of France, okay. Then the next, France helped 13 American colonies to gain independence from Britain. They lended the money on credit, okay, and the lenders, they raised the interest of the money they given as credit, and in order to maintain the country, okay, they have to run a group of government officials, colleges, schools, okay. Also they has to Louis XVI, he need to pay a huge amount as interest. Okay, so that war added debt. Okay, and the next was the social division of France. During that time, France was divided into 3 estates, but the first 2 estates, that means clergy and nobility, they were enjoying some feudal privileges. They were exempted from paying the taxes. Okay, only the third estate members needed to pay the taxes. Which was the two type of taxes? Melvin? Melvin, answer me. The two types of taxes that were paid by the third estate members.
Yes, ma'am.
The name of the taxes paid by the third estate members.
Ma'am, I cannot take my textbook.
Sorry?
Ma'am, I'll take my textbook and come.
You will take your textbook. That is the
Ma'am,
answer of this question. Savio,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell me?
Titte and tail.
Yes, chitte and tail. One is the tax that is paid, means that is levied by the church, and the other they need to pay directly to the state. Okay, and in addition to, they also levied some taxes on the daily consumption, things like salt and tobacco. Okay, then that was the thing, means that only one section of the society need to pay the taxes, and that raised anger among the third estate members. Do you remember all this? My dear children, I have already instructed you,
Yes, ma'am.
because whenever we completed a portion, just read and understand that one. Okay, because we know that history, it is two vast chapters. It is not easy for you to study only, means within 1 day or 2 days you can study that. Okay, then the next, the reason we have discussed about the rise in population. Okay, the rise in population, the population of France, okay, increased or rose to 28 million, but the production of crops was not enough, okay, to meet the demand of the food grains. Okay, and drought and hail epidemics, okay, diseases, all this worsened the situation of France. Okay, and all these situations make the poor section, they become more poorer. Okay, because the third estate members, they need to pay the taxes, as well as they has to compete with the rise in the prices. Most of these third estate members were worked as wages, means worked for only daily wages. Their wages is not enough to meet the increasing food rate. Okay, the price of bread, which was the staple diet of France, increased rapidly. So they could not able to buy all these things with an increasing price rate. Do you remember all these points?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was the one of the reason, because the life of the people become very hard during this time, because epidemics, drought, means if any drought or hail happen, it will affect to the harvest. Okay, so they can't give, means they, but it does not affect the way they were giving taxes, because anyway they need to give the, or they need to pay the taxes to the state. Okay, so that affects the people, and this led to a subsistence crisis. That means the basic means of livelihood was endangered. Okay, the people of third estate members suffered hardly during this period. Okay, so that is the point you have to discuss while we were talking about the rise of population. The next, I have told you that point, role of middle class that we have discussed.
Yes,
Role of middle class.
Started.
Yes. Who can tell me about it?
Melissa.
Role
In
of
the
middle
18th
class.
century, in the 18th century, many persons who belonged to
Ashik
third
Pateri.
estate
Is this Ashik Pateri? Okay. Tell me.
earned their wealth through overseas trade and
Yes, yes.
manufacturing goods
During the
like
18th
garments.
century, a section from the third estate, okay, they were termed as middle class. They began to be very powerful. They earned wealth, okay, by doing Yes, by doing?
manufacturing goods
Yes, manufacturing
and trade.
goods and also exporting silks product. Okay, manufacturers as well as then exporters. Yeah. Then, and not only
It was
this manufacturers and businessmen, there were also,
poor people.
yes, continue.
It was a new social group which also comprised of court officials, lawyers, and
Yes,
administrative
yes.
officers.
There were educated peoples also like lawyers, administrative officials, engineers, etc. Okay. So these people become very powerful. Okay. And they means they just means even though the peasants and the laborers revolted against this food scarcity and the increasing price taxes. Okay. But they lacked the means there was no proper leadership to guide them. Okay, and also they have not enough means they were very poor, so they lacked some things. Okay, but during this time a section of people who were termed as middle class, they become very powerful. Okay, they become very powerful, they earned wealth. Okay, and they believed that no group should be privileged by birth. Okay, no group should be privileged by birth. Rather, a person's, can you tell me, a person's social status must depend upon his merit. Okay, a person's social status must depend on his merit. Okay, so these people, okay, so the making the society means a society that is treated means that should treat every citizen as equal. That responsibility was rested on the hands of the middle class. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Mm,
ma'am.
Badra, can you repeat the same, the role of middle class?
Emergence of social groups as middle class.
Yes.
It included lawyers, professionals who are educated,
Yeah.
and they demanded that no groups in society privileges by birth.
Yeah.
A person's status
Social
must be
status must depend on his merit.
merit.
Is it clear, children, all of you? Aditya, turn on your video. Haya. Haya. Is it clear to you, children, all of you? Any doubt regarding these 2 points?
Yeah, ma'am.
Rise in population. If the population increase, what will be the condition of that people? Haya, can you tell me?
And there will be scarcity.
Haya Abid, unmute your speaker and explain the point, rise in population. She left. Can you
And
tell
there
me,
will be
Haya?
scarcity.
Hadi Amin,
Yes, ma'am.
rise in population. Explain it.
Emergence of social group as
No, no,
middle.
no, no. Question. Have you heard the question?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
rise in population.
Rapid, rapid increase in the demand for food grains.
Yes, the population rose up, so there was a rapid increase in the demand for the food grains. Okay,
Price,
but mm,
price of bread rose rapidly.
yes, price of bread rose rapidly. The wages means most of the third estate members were working as wages, means daily wages. They were working as daily wages, so they could not able to meet up the rise in the price of the bread. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, shall we
Yes,
move
ma'am.
to the next
Yes,
point?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. See, children, the next is inspiration from the philosophers, inspiration of the philosophers. Okay, so already a term we have discussed about a particular term, that is middle class. They emerged as powerful, and they give, means they were ready to fight, or they are ready to revolt against the injustice of the king. Okay, and during this time there were some philosophers. Okay, their ideas and thought, okay, inspired the people of France. Okay, among them the famous peoples are there: John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. Okay, they propagated the idea of the society where people would enjoy freedom, equal laws, and equal opportunities. See here, one particular section of society, they were being deprived all of their joys. Okay, they need to pay the taxes, as well as they had, means their condition was very means hard and miserable during this particular time. So there are some philosophers, okay, who gave them new ideas, new inspirational thought. Okay, among them the famous was John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. They all propagated the idea of a society where all people should be treated as equal, and equal laws for everyone, equal opportunities for everyone, and also they could enjoy freedom. Okay, and this is very important, children. The famous book written by these people. Yes, Two Treatises of Government by John Locke. The name of the book is Two Treatises of Government, written by John Locke. Okay, in this book, he completely refuted the doctrine of the divine and absolute right of monarch. Here, the monarchy means the king has given absolute right and power. He was against the system. Two Treatises of Government by John Locke. In this book, he was against the doctrine of the divine and the absolute right of monarch. And Rousseau, in his famous book, The Social Contract. Yes, he proposed a form of government based on social contract between people and their representative. Like in a democracy, the people should choose their representatives, and the rule means it is the rule by, not by the king, but by the people itself. It's like a contract between the people and their representative. Rousseau, in his famous book, The Social Contract, he proposed a form of government based on a social contract. That means between the people and their representative. So all these ideas, okay, was given an inspiration to the people of the third estate members. And the next one, Montesquieu, his book, The Spirit of the Laws. He proposed a division of power within the government between legislative, executive, and judiciary, the organs of government. Who are legislative? Legislature, have you heard about legislature?
Law-making body.
Yes, law-making body. Executive?
They execute law.
Means the laws are made by the legislative. The laws were executed by persons that were executives. And what do you mean by judiciary?
Courts.
Yes.
Many
Courts.
votes.
Yes, yes. System of
Courts
court that
that
existed in
decide
the
the law.
country to check the laws. They were acted as a check of this executive and the legislature. So he proposed a division of power within the government between the legislative, executive, and judiciary. Okay, so all these philosophers give ideas and inspiration to the people of France, okay, about a society that would treat every person as equal rights, okay, and they could enjoy their freedom, equal opportunities. So they have written different books. Okay, let me revise again. Two treatises of government. It is very important, children. Means one word questions you can expect from this. Two treatises of government by John Locke. Okay, and in this book, he completely refuted, he was against the doctrine. Which was the doctrine? The divine and absolute right of the monarch. There is no such power should be possessed by this monarch or the king. Okay, and Rousseau, his book name, it is Social Contract. The Social Contract, he proposed a division of power, or it is based on a social contract between the people and their representative, like a democratic form of government. And Montesquieu, okay, his book, The Spirit of the Laws, okay, he proposed a division of power within the government itself. That means between the legislature, executive, and judiciary. So all these ideas gave inspiration to the people of France during this period. Okay, and their ideas. Okay, all these were discussed in coffee shops, saloons. Okay, and they were read aloud. Okay, when some people could not able to read and write, some poor peoples were there, those who were not educated. For them, they read aloud in public places, and all these things means some inspiration. The role of middle class means some people become very powerful and prosperous during this time, and there were some philosophers who give an inspiring messages and ideas to the society. All these things has led to the increase, means that led to the outbreak of the revolution in France during this century. And there was a news that, okay, again, this Louis XVI was proposed to increase the taxes. Okay, that made the people means angry. Okay, and they were means they were ready to fight, or they were ready to revolt against the injustice. Okay, children. So these all are the reasons for the outbreak of the revolution in France during this century. Okay, the first point, let me clear it. The first thing, the means empty treasury of France. Long years of war and the cost of maintaining an extravagant balance or court at Versailles that increased the debt. Okay, and um, yeah, yes, France, 13 American colonies, they were under Britain. Okay, so France helped these 13 American colonies to gain their independence from Britain. That war had a debt because they have lended the money on credit. They raised, the money lenders raised the interest, 10% interest on the money they given. Okay, so Louis XVI, he needed to increase the taxes, but then we will come to the social division of the society. The first and the two estates, they were enjoying all privileges. Most of the land were owned by these people. Okay, they were exempted from paying the taxes, and also they were extracted feudal dues from the peasants. Okay, so their condition was very safe, but there was one section who were termed as third estate. Okay, these people, uh, both high means rich and poor people belongs to the third estate, but they need to pay the taxes, and also they need to work hard. This person has to work hard in the mines or the farms of this first and two estate members. Okay, and the population began rose up. It become increased during this century, but the production, okay, poor production of food grains was there, and even a drought or hail or epidemics, all this was the means common things or common worst situations was happened during this period. Epidemics, food scarcity, diseases, but they need to pay the taxes. Okay, even such hard and miserable conditions, the third estate members needed to pay the taxes. So they need to give spend money for the increasing, means the staple food price was increased. So that was one of the other reason for the outbreak of the revolution. Already the third estate people was in a state of anger. Okay, the next was inspiring people. There was a section of people who become powerful during this period. They were termed as middle class. They earned wealth through manufacturing and businesses, and also educated peoples were there. So these people, okay, they thought that no groups in the society should be privileged by birth. Okay, and no one means a person's social status must depend upon his merit, not by which groups he belongs to, which estate he belongs to. Okay, so this, even though those people, that means the peasants and the laborers revolted against the government before, but they failed because there was no such proper leadership, and they have no means to resist against such a big group like the first and second estate people, and also against the king. But this time they become powerful, middle class. Okay, their role or their responsibility was rested on the hands of the people of middle class, who were termed as middle class. And lastly, the role of philosophers. Okay, John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. Okay, they have written many books like Two Treatises of Government, Social Contract, and yes, all in these books.
Spirit of love.
Yes, yes, the spirit of laws, they expressed their ideas. Okay, they were against the complete and absolute power of the monarch. Okay, they proposed a society where all people should be treated equally, equal right, equal opportunities. Okay, and also like a democratic form of government they suggested, and also a division of power within the government like legislature, executive, and judiciary. So all these books, means what all ideas they had given, all these were means they were circulated among the people, and those who can't read and write, they read aloud in the public places. So the society means was inspired by this all these messages. Okay, so there was a strong leadership by the middle class people, and again the news that Louis XVI is again going to increase the taxes, that raised anger among the people, and the revolt started or began in the year 1789. Okay, they that we will discuss how they started all these things. We will discuss on the next class. Children, do you want the notes or the summary of the chapter? I think the summary of the chapter is enough for you to study, right? Can you tell me your suggestion?
Notes.
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 See, you are going to face the board exam, right? Okay, but if I think we can't expect the question from which line it come. Okay, so I think summary, it is better, right? Okay, I'll do one thing. I will update the summary of the lesson and also the questions. Is it enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will give the questions. Okay, and also the summary of the chapter. Okay.
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 Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So I will upload it on the website.
Yes,
Okay. Or do you need it in the group?
ma'am.
Group, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Group.
Today I will send the summary in group. Okay, in the WhatsApp group. And please, next time when you come, read the text and come. Don't tell me the excuses as Melvin. Are you there? Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Don't tell me any excuses like this. Read the
No, ma'am,
textbook.
I did not have my that
You
lecture.
you do not have the textbook.
No textbook. I didn't have my that lecture notes where I written that. Now I
But
took,
you have to study, right?
now I took it from my table. I didn't keep it.
These are called excuses.
No, ma'am, I know. I written to you.
Okay, anyway, when you come for the next class, study and come. Okay? Bye, children. See you on the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.